Welcome to VR, where V might stand for vomit, and I might swallow my microphone. And we are not where we are supposed to be. We are in a BMW E36 with a locked rear axle. Grip levels maybe as if it is very greasy, wet, 0.6, 0.7 G max, so it's a fairly sluggish thing. Doing a little bit of drifting, because it seems like this weekend I will actually do just a little bit of it. It's a bit of fun, it's not serious. I am not planning to become a drifter in the sense of the going slidey in cars explanation. I think drifter means a few things which I don't understand, because English, you know, I never speak English, according to you maybe. This BMW has 1150 degrees of steering lock, fairly sluggish steering. The lock diff and the low grip tires and the greasy conditions hopefully make it possible, and we'll see if I can learn something. So it will be interesting to see if I want to initiate the drift. I can just floor it, and then lift off. It will come, but after flooring it takes a little while before it comes. So the clutch kick is probably a lot more efficient. So if I try that here, clutch in, see, that instantly makes it go. So that's going to be interesting to see how that feels, if the clutch kick is as effective, if the grip levels mean I can just floor the throttle. But you see, it's not super instant, whereas the clutch kick is. I've set the force feedback to be a little on the sluggish side. It helps a lot. It's 5 Newton meters. It's fairly low because it's a power assisted car. So it definitely helps, and you see, like that, can let it go, but it's not ultra fast. If they have power steering, which I think they do, I think it might sort of damp the response just a little bit. So it's a bit like G25 drifting, that every now and then I'm giving it a little hand, and you know, no idea how this will be. So let's try the clutch kick, and then it's modulating the throttle and the opposite lock. Not too much throttle here, and then it already transitions a bit faster. So I think throttle control will be hopefully something I can get to grips with in the sim a little bit. So the more wheel spin you have, the less cornering grip you have. So rev limiters and all that sound cool, but then the car can change direction real fast because there's effectively no grip at the rear. And you can throw it like that, and maybe. It's got reasonable torque, especially at low speed. I have to do the steering more myself. Clutch in. So quite a bit of revs. The more revs, the quicker the transition is. It's really greasy. It will be a wet skid pad. So keep the revs under control, but not too low, because if it's too low you do not continue the drift. So the transitions, I think, will be really interesting if I manage to even, you know, I have no real expectations. Doing this for many hours in the sim doesn't necessarily mean you get into a real car and be too chia after 2 minutes. No third gear drifting, it's probably a 325i-ish with 180 horsepower maybe. So if I give it too much revs here, too much wheel spin, then it's really hard to control. So the throttle pedal, according to tire physics and Automobilista physics and this car, basically tells you how much lateral grip the rear tires have, how much cornering grip they have. The more wheel spin, the less cornering grip. So if transitions are too violent, maybe I am having a little bit too much wheel spin. And if the drift sort of backs out, stops the drift, and I get understeer, not enough wheel spin. Clutch in. Oh, but the harshness of that we will really have to see. Of course, the conditions here all over the track are identical. The wet skid pad in real life probably has... Oh, losing it again. Probably has variable grip levels a little bit. Clutch in. This is not too bad. Early on. Yeah, just it's more a throttle thing than a steering thing. Let's go with an early. I was a bit afraid of how fast it would go, and I almost lost the drift there. And by minimizing the wheel spin, the transition wasn't violent. Well, a car can have any sort of balance, even a car like this with grip levels like this. Very hard to predict how understeery or oversteery the car will be, of course. Oh, yeah, that's a big boot of throttle. This really low speed stuff is a bit tricky. Well, let's see if we can transition here with keeping wheel spin, but not a huge amount. Oh, yeah, oh, no, we can't. I cannot blame frame drops, because I'm not getting any. But how do you measure the wheel spin? Because it depends. It is the difference between the speed the tires spin at and the speed the car is going. So at really low speed, less RPM is just as much wheel spin as at high speed. So the faster you go, the more revs you need to get the same level of wheel spin. It's not really all that complicated, but still, to keep that in mind, to judge. This is quite a bit of wheel spin, even though the revs are low, because you're almost standing still. That's too much wheel spin, I think. And now it backed out. It's having the confidence to have enough wheel spin and not being overconfident, having too much wheel spin and then missing the transition and spinning out, versus being too calm and not having enough wheel spin. Is that really difficult in real life? I imagine having no experience and just getting, I don't know, we'll get maybe half an hour or 40 minutes. It might be tricky to learn it in a short time. The drifting I did in Automobilista and R Factor was typically with the force feedback tuned a bit more actively, so I had less work to do, and this will be, like I said, really interesting. Oh, I'm making it. Of course, the more force feedback you have, the more it does it for... Oh, yeah, oops, that's abrupt. The easier it becomes, but I've subjectively turned it down a bit, so it helps, but isn't super autopilot. That makes the drifting a lot more difficult than with autopilot force feedback. I'm trying not to look too violently. Can we do it? That's better. It takes more getting used to than I thought. Oh, that's violent at a really low speed. I wonder if it's just the revs being low, but me standing still gives me sort of infinite wheel spin and quite a bit of loss of grip. It isn't so much that tires lose grip when sliding. Ish, maybe a little bit, and in this simulation that I've completely made up, the tires do lose like 10% of grip when sliding. But it's not so much that they lose grip, it is where the grip is. So when there is no wheel spin, I'm getting sort of the maximum grip right now. The more wheel spin you have, the bigger the slip angle you need to get the most grip, cornering grip as well. So that should be, if you have a nice consistent drift, it sort of stabilizes, because the more sideways you go with the same throttle position, the more cornering grip you get. So you can get these balanced exits even with quite a bit of throttle. I'm at a big slip angle, and even when there is wheel spin, there is still a bit of grip there. So it's not that throttle removes grip, it replaces, it moves the grip to a bigger slip angle. This probably makes very little sense, and I probably explained it poorly, but it's what happens. Can I get it this time? No, still not. Oh, we have to learn that, Niels. But it's shocking how different drifting is with more communicative force feedback with like 900 degrees, and now having to do half the work a little bit myself with 1150 degrees with a steering rack that has like 36 degrees on the front tires. Stringing it together is not easy. So remember, the more I accelerate, even and when the revs are constant, I'm having less and less wheel spin and a greater chance of the slide to stop. The engine has a lot of torque at like, oh, that's, yeah, not quite getting it. Like 3000 RPM already. It's a road car engine, it has quite a nice torque curve. Yeah. It's not beautiful, this. So before we can, I'm tempted to do like Scandinavian flicks. Yeah, this time I got it. Almost backed out. Remember, it looks dry, but the grip levels are greasy, wet. Maybe. We do not know the grip levels, nor do we know the setup of the car and the balance of the car and anything really. Being fairly rude with it. Oh, yeah, just about. Let's be early. controlling the wheel spin. I find it tempting to have a lot of wheel spin on corner exit, which is controllable sometimes, but it's not controllable during transitions. Really interesting to see how that feels. I'm a bit hesitant now. We don't want to be that. See, this sort of advanced level of Scandinavian flicking is not something I think I will attempt. Probably the tracks that they set out with some cones on the skid pad will not have such high speed or complexity. Maybe. High revs, very little wheel spin because we are actually going 100-ish. But this is easy, and quite a bit of wheel spin now, but oh yeah, that's lifting off complete. I'm sure actually nobody's watching. Everybody went to the bathroom to recycle their lunch now. I'm sorry about that. I'm very happy that I'm capable of dealing with VR without getting motion sick when spinning and drifting like this. Of course, when you lift off during a transition, you get a bit of load transfer to the front, making them bite even more. So yeah, the transitions are hard. Let's do a few more. This hasn't really become a coherent video, but oh, lock stops. Of course, when you're on the lock stops, there is no more safety net of applying more opposite lock. All you can do is remove a bit of throttle. So when we go not sideways enough, enter the turn more, less opposite lock or more into the turn with more throttle. When there is too much sliding, more opposite lock or remove throttle. Almost against the barrier. Too fast. Another little, well, it's probably a real effect. It's definitely in the simulator. Those rear tires spinning, the faster they spin, the more it stabilizes the car through gyroscopic effects, which are weird effects that I wouldn't claim to understand, but maybe that's why in cornering more wheel spin isn't necessarily a bad idea, but then during transitions it would also help. But a lot of wheel spin during transition simply takes too much, in this simulation anyway, too much grip away. And you see, you have to be confident enough to let it come, but not too confident and let it go too far. Don't know if there will be a handbrake in the car. Well, it's probably a handbrake. but if we will use it or not, I do not have handbrake mounted currently. If you know anybody who sells a hand... Oh wait, no, I do know. Oh, is it too late? I'm... See, making Heusinkveld jokes. Ow! Oh, that hurt. Oh. So what happened here? I bumped my elbow in the seat, which is not really, you know, my elbows are... Ow! It really hurts. And then, as a result, I smacked my headset into my already bruised nose from prolonged VR racing. At least you suffer getting nauseous, so at least there's something. It's not just me suffering. Ow. Oh. So I've got elbows out here, outside of the seat. Nice, that's almost on the lock stops. Oh, that's so far. I saw it, yeah. So to be confident enough takes quite a bit of practice for me, that time we will probably not have. That's great, that's good. Are we saving it? Yeah, full throttle, just about managed to break grip again. I'm afraid of my elbows now too. I don't want to hit him again. See if we can get this transition right again. We seem to be able to. Still a bit afraid of that one. Oh, not very smooth. So I need to increase the revs to maintain the wheel spin. Not nice, but backed out. Very afraid of my elbows. It's not, takes a bit of work. Just like last time, no spin but no nice apex. And here we lost it. A bit of a YOLO move now. Can we do it again? Scandinavian flicking it now. This is not part of what we're doing, I suppose. The Scandinavian YOLO. It was a transition, but it was a bit muted. No confidence there yet. Oh, a bit fast. That's so much easier with the 4C back a bit more alive, but this is a big question mark. When I did the couple of track days some years ago in a E36 BMW, I could hold the steering wheel into a turn at 90 degrees right and just let go and it would just stay there. So now these cars they use for the drifting, they work well for it, and with some onboard videos I saw that they just indeed let go of the wheel and it does the steering as you would expect, but how snappy, how nippy. is anyone's guess. Oh, yeah. Oh. If you weren't sick before, you will be now. During those transitions, of course, also I've got no idea about the suspension on the car. If it's stiff, so it will transition more quickly, or if it's sluggish and it will sort of roll a lot and slowly transfer the weight. There are many questions, many differences all the time between reality and the sim. But I basically don't know anything about the car. Left, right, yeah, oh. And maybe it will use a handbrake if it has one. Of course, it's easier to initiate the drift, easier than a Scandinavian grassy flick. Let's do a couple more laps. More a bit what might happen, maybe. So we slow, enter the drifts, but a bit more throttle. It's already not smooth. Gradually build up a bit of revs, little lift, bit more throttle. Let go. Watch it! Oh! Well, I hope, he says, I didn't make the sim too easy. There was some elbow awareness there. Okay, one more lap, let's see. Go plenty slow with the corner way over there. With a late apex. I was a little bit behind. Oh, tricky. Too fast. Yeah, I'm afraid of that turn. Clutch kick. Oh, there it goes again. It's tricky. It is tricky. Or I'm not very good at it. Possibly. Now, of course, drifting is very often done in Live for Speed and also in Assetto Corsa. Now I notice vanilla Assetto Corsa has... Oh, that's not... Oh, hey! Should just talk more, that's better. Has quite a lot of yaw damping, as they call it, I think. So it slows down the rotation of the car. Possibly making that easier to drift and maybe, who knows, easier than it should be. Live for Speed, once your tires are really hot, I always think it's sort of weird to drift there, but I also haven't done it for 12 years, so I might be wrong. Here we have a whole host of parameters we can change. Maybe the 10% grip loss I have in cornering is more than you get in real life. It's very hard to say, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's not, if it's one of those things that looks easy, but maybe like getting a power slide going, not too bad, but getting perfect transitions into slower corners, slowing the car down and stuff might be pretty tricky. I'm not expecting to do worse than I'm doing here in the simulator, that's for sure. So once you're going, it's fine. That's really good. You don't just want the transition, you want the transition near the limit. You don't want there to be a drift if you look with a microscope. So anyway, well, if you hear from me again, like Sunday or something, that probably means it went sort of okay. If you never hear me again, then oh, this is too fast. Then you've probably figured it out that it didn't go that well. And it's just an afternoon of fun. I don't think there will be that much seat time. Okay, Neil, nail this. It is quite a lot of fun to do and harder than I usually have my sim drifting. Okay, just one more. I believe out of the 400 people watching, one or two of you haven't vomited yet, so allow me. To be bad. Oh, look at that. Ah, didn't make it. Oh, it came. It came, and on that bombshell, this was sort of a reality check in a way. Pretty difficult. Really curious to see if there's any overlap this weekend in the real thing, if it goes ahead, you know, not too serious, but if there is something to report back, I will probably do so. And apologies for sponsoring the barf bag sales with this video. It's hard to stop, it is fun. Oh, and now I'm too fast. The brake bias is also really far to the front, so if I want to brake a little bit, and of course I've set the brake really light because this will be power assisted, it's easy to lock the fronts with the greasy conditions, and then you just get more understeer as well. I might practice a bit more like left foot braking, maybe. There might be a handbrake. Anyway guys, I've been going on long enough. We'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching, and again apologies for making you run to the bathroom. Bye bye.